Hi, welcome to Math 76, Lesson 112. To describe part of a whole group, we may use a percent, a fraction, or a decimal number. When we are asked to find a certain percent of a number, we usually change the percent to a fraction or to a decimal number before we perform the calculation. Looking at the example on the whiteboard, what number is 75% of 20? First, we translate the problem into an equation, changing the percent to either a fraction or a decimal, which would be 3/4 or 0.75. We use the letter N for what number? We use an equal sign for is, and a multiplication sign for of. And we'll put the 20 here. Now I'm showing both the fraction and the decimal form. Often one form is easier to calculate than the other form, but either way, when we do this, we will find that they both equal 15. So that shows us that 75% of 20 is 15. In example 2, Jamal correctly answered 80% of the 25 questions. How many questions did he answer correctly? We want to find 80% of 25. Now we may change 80% to a fraction, which would be 80 over 100. And that equals 4/5. Or a decimal, which would equal 0.80. Now, if we do this as a percent, we would say 80% of 20, as a fraction, 80% of 20, and remember we use a multiplication sign for of 25, Or we could do 0.8, because this is also the same as 0.8 of 25. When we do this, 1/5, we find that this equals 20. When we do this, we find that this equals 20.0. So we find that Jamal correctly answered 20 questions. Sorry, and this is not having camera issues today. Sorry about that. I hope that you were able to see all of that. Now, find 6% of $12. So, if I was going to do this, we could change it to a fraction, which if we had 6 over 100, that would equal 3/50, or we could use a decimal, which would be 0.06. Now it seems easier for us to multiply $12 by 0.06 than by 3/50. So we're going to go ahead and use the decimal form. 0.06 multiplied $12. And we will see that that equals 72 cents. So what we need to remember is that we put in a number, and we'll use the number N for what number. Is an equal sign. We turn the percentage into a fraction or decimal. Of is a multiplication symbol, and then the number given. Go ahead and practice what number is 10% of 350. Pause the video, do that yourself, and then come back and we'll do it together. What number, we'll use n, is equal sign 25, or I'm sorry, what is 10% of 350? I'm going to put it as a decimal. And you'll find when we take 350, multiply it by 10, or 0.10, that it will equal 35. And if you'd like to practice the other problems in our book, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, go on to your lesson for the day, and I will see you tomorrow.